Prophet Muhammad series, based on authentic sources.
In the bustling markets of pre-Islamic Mecca, reputation was more valuable than gold. While other men boasted of their lineage or their wealth in camels, one young man walked the streets with a title earned not by inheritance but by conduct: Al-Sadiq, Al-Amin, the truthful, the trustworthy. He was 25 years old, possessing no great fortune, yet he was about to attract the attention of the wealthiest woman in Arabia, setting in motion a partnership that would change the course of history. In our previous episode, we witnessed the Prophet Muhammad during his turbulent adolescence. We saw him stand with his uncles in the sacrilegious war and pledge his hand to the noble alliance of the virtuous, committing himself to justice in a lawless society. Now, we bridge the gap between his early youth and his adulthood. We follow his transition from a shepherd in the hills to a merchant on the international stage, culminating in the pivotal trade journey to Syria that would lead to his marriage. Between the ages of 20 and 25, Muhammad moved from the margins of Meccan society toward its economic center. Having mastered the patience and solitude of shepherding, he now entered the complex world of the Rihlatu Shita was Sayf, the winter and summer trade caravans established by his ancestor Hashim. He did not have the capital to launch his own caravans. Instead, he worked as an agent, mudharib, for other investors. In the mercantile system of Mecca, this was a common arrangement. A wealthy investor provided the goods, and a trusted agent managed the transport and sale, splitting the profits. It was here that his reputation as Al-Amin became his defining asset. In a market rife with fraud, usury, riba, and short-changing, a man who spoke the truth and returned trusts intact was a rare commodity. At the pinnacle of this economic hierarchy sat Khadijah bint Khuwailid. A woman of the Beni Asad clan, she was a distant cousin of the Prophet, their lineages meeting at Qusay bin Kilab. Khadijah was a widow, twice over, who had inherited significant wealth. She was known as At-Tahira, the Pure One, and the Princess of Quraysh. Unlike many women of late antiquity, she was an independent operator, hiring men to manage her caravans while she directed affairs from Mecca. Hearing of Muhammad's extraordinary integrity, she sent a proposal. She would employ him to lead her caravan to Syria, offering him double the usual commission. He consulted his uncle, Abu Talib, who, despite his nobility, was financially strained. Abu Talib advised him to accept, seeing it as a door opened by God. And so, at the age of 25, Muhammad set out for Syria once again, this time not as a child clinging to his uncle, but as the leader of a major expedition. Accompanying him was Khadijah's servant, Maysara, tasked with observing the new agent's conduct. The journey took them through the breathtaking and dangerous landscapes of northern Arabia, past the Nabatean ruins of Al-Hijr, and into the Byzantine domain. Historical sources, including Ibn Ishaq, Ibn Sa'd, recount that near the market of Busra, the caravan rested near the cell of a monk, identified in some narratives as Nistur. Muhammad sat under the shade of a tree. The monk, observing this, asked Maysara, "Who is the man under that tree?" Maysara replied, "A man of the Quraysh, from the people of the Haram." The monk responded with a, "None has sat under that tree since Isa, ibn Maryam." Maysara also observed other signs. He noted that the intense heat of the Syrian sun seemed not to touch Muhammad. Two angels appeared to cast a shadow over him as he rode during the hottest hours of the day. Beyond the metaphysical, the mission was a commercial triumph. Muhammad traded the goods with shrewdness and honesty. He did not cheat, nor did he allow himself to be cheated. He returned to Mecca with profits far exceeding Khadijah's projections. When the caravan returned to Mecca, Maysara reported everything to Khadijah: the prophets, the monk's words, and the angelic shading. Khadijah, now 40 years old, was deeply moved. She had rejected marriage proposals from the chiefs of Quraysh, uninterested in men who sought her wealth. But in Muhammad, she saw a nobility of spirit that transcended material gain. Breaking with convention, she initiated the proposal. She confided in her friend Nafisa bint Miniyah, who approached Muhammad. "Why do you not marry?" Nafisa asked. "I do not have the means," he replied. "But if you were invited to beauty, wealth, nobility, and abundance, would you accept?" "Who is she?" "Khadijah." "How could such a match be mine?" "Leave that to me." The union was arranged. Abu Talib and Hamza went to the house of Khadijah's uncle, Amr bin Asad, to formally ask for her hand. Abu Talib delivered a famous sermon, Al-Khutbah, at the ceremony. "My nephew Muhammad is a man with whom no man of the Quraysh can be compared in nobility and character. He has an inclination toward Khadijah, and she toward him." The marriage took place. The dowry was set at 20 young camels. Muhammad moved into the house of Khadijah. The orphan who had once herded sheep for pennies was now the husband of the most formidable woman in Mecca. But this was not a retirement into luxury. It was the stabilization he needed for the spiritual burden to come. The marriage to Khadijah marked the end of Muhammad's youth and the beginning of his maturity. It gave him financial independence, emotional security, and a loving home. For the next 15 years, he would live as a devoted husband and father, while the chaos of the outside world continued to swirl. But as he approached his 30s, a restlessness would begin to grow in his soul, a dissatisfaction with the materialism of Mecca that neither wealth nor family could silence. The caves of Mount Hira were waiting. Join us in the next episode as we explore the hidden years of the Prophet's life from age 25 to 35. The reconstruction of the Kaaba, the dispute of the Black Stone, and his growing retreat into solitude.